Yeah, absolutely. So, just for context, I'm 32. I had been dealing with multiple debilitating illnesses since I was 15. Like, had to spend the last 2.5 years of high school on hospital homebound. I just suddenly became, extremely sick. Couldn't go to school anymore. Like, I thought healing for, this whole time. Like, I kept praying and, wanting God to heal me. I was doing everything I knew to do to get healed, and it just wasn't happening. So, just to kind of like give a brief summary of like some of the things I was dealing with, like one was POTS, like a heart condition. It affects your heart rate and blood pressure and like so many things. I could go on and on, but like that was one issue. So I dealt with like shortness of breath, chest pains, racing heart, high and low blood pressure, stuff like that every single day, and like worse upon standing. A pain condition. There's a couple different names for it. So complex regional pain syndrome is the new name for it, CRPS, or the old name is reflex sympathetic dystrophy, which is RSD. And if you look at the McGill Pain Index, then you'll see that it's ranked as like the most painful chronic pain like known to man. It's like my doctor describes it as being, he has it himself, as like being dipped in oil and set on fire. So like the smallest things would cause the biggest issues. Like another way that my doctor described it is like even touch could be like extremely painful. So people without that condition have coating over their pain sensors, but people with that condition have no coating over their pain sensors. So it's like touching a live wire. So there's like a ridiculous amount of things that I had not been able to do, like unable to write for like 10 years, like even just sign my name. This is so personal. I never thought I would share this, but I'm going to share it because it's all for the glory of God. Like I could not shave my legs for like 3 years. I shaved immediately after Deliverance. Like, and it's just like that sounds like a small thing, maybe, but like that was huge to me. Like I was like I felt so humiliated, like having to keep my legs covered up all the time, and just like just so like embarrassing and very. I didn't realize how restricted my wardrobe was because of that until like getting healed and like now being able to like wear all these different things that I couldn't wear for so long. I mean, I kid you not. Like I know it sounds like ridiculous, but like again, like it's like a disease like straight from hell. Like the uh, last time I had shaved my legs prior to that, I had a 7 month long pain flare just from that one time. So it's like I just like finally gave up, and I was like, it's not worth suffering for like 7 months to have shaved legs. You know what I mean? So it was just like it was insane, and I'm so thankful that like I can do that now. uh I've already like come off of like two of my medications. I actually like did it accidentally, but like it was the Lord. Like I just forgot to refill my med tray. One of the biggest issues I've had all this time, oh, and another condition, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, EDS, is a connective tissue disease where like your body does not make enough collagen. So I had all these your collagen is the glue that holds your body together. Joint dislocations from everywhere from my jaw to my ankles, and that is something that I dealt with like every single day, and that is the disease that like caused everything that I had. So like my bladder, like I had pain and frequency. Like at whenever I first got sick, I had to keep a bladder diary. This is how I know, like for the doctors, 60 times a day I was urinating. So I got
Mm.
in bladder medication that helped, but like it still was an issue. It was still painful, still a lot of frequency, not to that extent, but like a lot. And I didn't realize it for a few days, but like I quit taking my bladder medicine, and I was no pain.
Praise
Like
God.
frequency's gone. Like oh my goodness, it's it's like I have a totally bladder. Like my bladder was so damaged like it was nerve damage to my bladder is what I had from the disease. And so I'm off of that. I'm off of my the reflux medication, and like that this is like all the beginning, like because it's like every day, like I notice like more things that are different. I had extreme sensitivity to fragrances. So like I had like one friend that like I could go to their house because it's like most people have candles, air fresheners, uh perfume, cologne, even walking by someone that like not even actively smoking, but like just with smoke on their clothes, I would get extremely sick. So it was extremely limited, but like I've come into contact with like multiple fragrances since then and realized later, hey, like I didn't get sick. I didn't have any issues because of that. So that has made a huge difference. You were talking about the emotional side. I also had like a panic disorder that like without medication, and it was still like frequent, but like it's felt like I would have a series of panic attacks like all day long. Like it was horrible, and they dealt with that spirit, like they cast it out in Jesus' name, and now it's like all these situations that used to cause me so much pain and anxiety, I'm like, I'm not afraid of this situation anymore. Like it's amazing. Like situations I would normally just be constantly panicked in, I'm not. And so God has set me free from so much. Another thing is like my nails. I couldn't paint my nails like for like 5 years. I did that this weekend, and just like so many things. And for around 8 years, I couldn't like style my hair at all because of the issues I had ongoing constantly with my hands and wrists, and I've been able to do that. So it's it's been life changing, and I give God all the praise, honor, and glory for all He's done for me and all He's continuing to do as the healing continues to like happen every day. And I just want to say, like, for people, if you've been sick for a long time, like, please at least prayerfully consider deliverance, because God doesn't want us to be bound with sickness. Like it holds you back in your calling, and it's like sickness and pain. It's like all consuming. It affects everything you do. So just like Jesus, um, 1/3 of his ministry was deliverance. Like there was a woman who was crippled by a spirit for 18 years, and Jesus cast out the spirit and straight and praise God. And hey, I just remembered that reminds me of another thing. Y'all dealt with the spirit behind the scoliosis. Like my mom and Mimi were like, "You look taller," and like I didn't realize it for a few days.
Wow.
Like I'm it's because I can stand up straight, and I used to like slouch because like with the EDS it made my shoulders like I don't really know exactly why, but like it was very painful for me to like have good posture and like straighten my shoulders out. And like I know now, like I do that all the time, like without even thinking about it or noticing it really. So it's been miraculous and life changing, and I give God all the honor and glory. And I just want to give honor to Pastor Brent and Sister Michelle, because they drove a long way to come and take me through deliverance. Like it's 4 hours. They're bivocational pastors. They have kids. Like they are so busy, but like I reached out to them in desperation, and they came. They after a full day of work, spent the night, spent basically the whole next day doing deliverance on me. So I just want to thank you guys again so much for your sacrifice. I appreciate it, and I'm just so excited that to see all that God will continue to do through you guys.
I think the Lord was in your deliverance from the beginning, because I think we shared a little bit about, whenever Brentley brought up the whole deliverance thing. And then, we were, to be honest, we were just kind of waiting it out a little bit. And then like the Lord just began to deal with us and speak. He has to sometimes speak to me a few more times than him. And he did. And it was just, it had become, you know, kind of, because I feel like we kind of reached out to you in stages. It's like the Lord would say, okay, do this. And so at first it was just speak to the girl. Okay. You know, it was little things. And then by the end of it, you know, we had a guest speaker, and he come up to us, or he come up to me at the end, and he says, whatever the Lord has called y'all to do, it's time to step out into it. And I'm like,
Wow.
okay. So when we got through with church, I said, we need to go ahead and call Rachel and go ahead and get this ball moving, because the Lord is adamant that we're going to do this for her. So it was definitely a Lord
I
thing.
respected that were willing to do it FaceTime or however you want to call it. But I'm just old fashioned. I wanted to be there to anoint,
Yeah.
lay hands on, and one-on-one like that. So, and we've told you this when we were in Dublin, but Michelle and I both agree you're probably, I'm trying not to be a crybaby on live
He's the
podcast,
emotional one.
but I'm a tenderhearted, and I'm not going to apologize for that. But your faith is probably one of the strongest I've ever
Yes.
witnessed.
Yes.
Wow.
That is a huge compliment.
Ever.
Yeah.
You guys would
I
say.
mean, just unbelievable
Yeah.
amount of faith. And
I
that's
can
what we all,
totally attest to that too. The faith. I mean, ever since I met Rachel, I was 18 years old actually, and you know we're both the same age, so we've known each other for a while. And ever since I met her, without a shadow of a doubt, she said, "God is going to heal me." And most people after 17 years would not say that anymore. But every time she talked about everything you dealt with physically, you said, God is going to heal me. And I know that. And I mean, that's even like speaks volume like to me, and like, wow, I need to have the kind of faith that you have.
Right.